All right, welcome back to yet another edition of Ofa kills every legendary boss in Baldur's Gate 3 on honor mode on the first turn of combat. In this episode, we have Thisobald Thorm. Now, this guy, first of all, like the other Thorms, I have rarely ever had to fight this guy because he is very easy to talk himself into talk him into killing himself. Very easy. So just to save myself the displeasure of having to fight him, that's what I will usually do, and I'll let him take his own life. You get more XP that way too, I think. For the sake of this video series, though, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually try to kill him in fair and open combat, and I'm going to do it on the first turn. Here is the trouble with Thisobald. Thisobald starts with the numb condition, which means he is immune to all physical damage, slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning, and thunder, just to top it off. So what does that mean? Well, it means that if you're going to kill this guy, and you want to do it on the first turn, you've got to use magical damage, and you have to do 374 of it to make it work. Is that possible? Yes, it is very possible. At this stage in the game, at level 9, just working through the math in my head, let's say you had a Stormlord in your party. So all you need is 2 levels of Tempest Cleric for Destructive Wrath, 3 levels of Sork, so that you can get access to Scorching Ray. Sorry, I couldn't remember why you need 3 levels of Sork, but that's why. Not Scorching Ray, pardon me. You don't need Scorching Ray for that build to work. You just need Witch Bolt. What am I saying? You just need Witch Bolt and Destructive Wrath. What's Sork for? Oh, Quicken Spell. Right, sorry. You need levels, you need Meta Magics for Quicken Spell. It's level 5 for Quicken Spell. And it's level 3 for Twinning. There's another reason too. I don't know why. I have it in my head that you need 3 levels of Sork. There is something that you get. Why can't I think of it? I don't know. I've played the Stormlord plenty of times. You'd think I would know. But, irrespective of that, if you've got Witch Bolt, and you have the ability to cast more than 1 spell a turn, and you have a means of auto-critting, which you should by this phase, you should have Luck of the Far Realms, then any 2 Tempest Cleric 3 caster that has access to Witch Bolt is going to be capable of applying the wet status, shooting a Witch Bolt, having it crit, because it's a spell attack, so it's capable of critting, which is a key component there. Yes, the other lightning spells will do max damage with Destructive Wrath, but they can't crit, so they won't double. And you get all that worked up. So Witch Bolt, you go zoom, and then you fucking Destructive Wrath, so it's max damage, and then you double it because it's a crit. At this stage of the game, you can get all the way up to, well, let's see. Let's just do some quick math. You have a single level 5 spell slot at level 9, and then 3 level 4s. So if on turn 1 you are hasted, you're going to get a shot. Let's assume all your levels are in Sork apart from the Tempest Cleric. So it's 2 Tempest Clerics, 7 Sork. You're going to have plenty of points because you're going to expend all of your spell slots, as I have, lower spell slots to get more Sork points. And you're going to have access to 3 4s and a 5, and you'll be able to use 3 of them on turn 1 because you'll be hasted for 1, you'll get your regular attack for 2, and then you'll quicken spell for 3. So on that first turn, once wet is applied to that enemy, you're hitting it with a Witch Bolt. At level 5, that is 5d12, which is 60 damage. You apply Destructive Wrath, and it gets up to 60. You apply the wet status, and it gets up to 120. And then you apply a crit, and it gets up to 240. So your level 5 Witch Bolt is doing 240 damage to a target. You quicken, and you don't get an auto crit on the next one, but you should get at least an average of whatever it is. It's 60 damage, it's 5d12, so d12 is 6.5 times 5 is 32.5 damage, right? 33 damage, no, 5 times 12, 32.5 damage. Let's say 33 to be safe, but whatever. 33 damage on average with the Witch Bolt. You double it again because he's still wet. You don't get to crit this time necessarily, so that's another 66, and then your third attack goes off for another 66. So, to answer the general question, is this possible with not only a party, but a single character to kill this guy who's got 374 hit points on turn 1 before he has a chance to move? Absolutely. Stormlord is just one example of a character that has enough spell damage to do it. I am playing a party that's very martial heavy. So Karlach isn't going to be able to do much, Lae'zel's not going to be able to do much, and Astarian's not going to be able to do much, but my Tav, luckily, is in fact a 6 sorcerer, Neutronic Bloodline Gold, for free access to Disguise Self, but she's also got that Fire Spirits, or elemental damage is fire, and 3 levels of College of Lore Bard. Why I'm doing this, I will explain at a later date. I'm going to put out a video with some build alternatives that I've put together that vary slightly from popular builds. The 11-1 Sorlock is the one that this is sort of tweaked from. I'm not going to take full credit for inventing it. I don't think anyone can at this stage of the game. Millions of people have played this game, and lots of people have probably come to the same conclusions as you or I have about these things. So, but this is my own personal refinement of the concept. The principles are the same. And this is why I mentioned Scorching Ray before, because that's where my head was at. Similar to every other Stork, I'm going to be hasted before this combat begins, which will mean 2 actions, and then I'm going to use Quicken Spell for a 3rd spell. Each of those spells is going to be a Scorching Ray. Scorching Ray, as a reminder, deals 6, we're now, well, okay, so I should probably, it's 3 projectiles to start. Each one does 2 to 12, or 2 to 12, so it's 2d6, yeah, 2d6 per projectile 3 times. And that upcasts for every spell slot to include more projectiles. So I'm going to get a 6, a 5, and a 5. I'm going to be able to hurl a grand total of 16 fire projectiles that do 7 damage on average each. So let's do some math. So 7 damage each on average, 16 projectiles. How much damage is that? Well, not enough. Not enough. It's going to be well short. Is there any way that we can up that? Well, yes, there actually is. So what we're going to have to do, at the very least, is apply vulnerability for 1. And that is going to be done with Arsonist Oil. So Arsonist Oil reads, coat your weapon in an oil that transforms the target's fire resistance to a fire vulnerability. This has never worked the way it's been read. As far as I know, and through testing, and I don't do fire builds very much because I find Arsonist Oil to be finicky. But this doesn't actually do what it says. What it actually does is it applies a vulnerability if there exists nothing, and it takes away the resistance if there exists one. It does not flip a resistance to a vulnerability. We're going to test that theory. I honestly have not tried it in several patches, so I have no idea what the Arsonist Oil is going to do. But that is one way that we're going to bump up that damage. And that will take us from 7 times 16... wait, hold on. Let me just do this again. I'm going to hurl 16 projectiles at 7 damage each. That's right, yeah. So that's 100, and that's 96 damage. Not enough. But you double damage from vulnerability, and suddenly you're pushing 200. Okay, so we're about halfway there. A little over halfway there, on average. What else can we do? Well, a couple of other things. So I said that my marshals were useless, but I wasn't completely honest, because there are things you can do that will allow you to get some damage through. So right now, Karlach's got the archery gloves on. She can apply psychic damage, though, with every hit, for 1. I can switch this out for the Helldusk, the flawed Helldusk gloves for 1d4 fire every time she hits. That helps. And if there's a vulnerability applied, then it helps even more. Poisons are very good. So we're going to definitely be fucking with those. I don't think Brand of the Week here is going to be usable. Make an enemy vulnerable to bludgeoning damage. I think if you apply this to an enemy that's immune to it, it does nothing. So I'm not even going to experiment with that. There is another thing that we can do, and that's the Oil of Combustion. Oil of Combustion on a hit, the coated weapon covers its target in oil for 2 turns. The oil-covered targets immolate upon taking fire damage, dealing 3 to 18 fire damage to everyone and everything nearby. So what it's supposed to do is once they've been combusted, then every time they take fire, it multiplies it further. So theoretically, by applying this to my weapon and shooting, and putting oil of the arsonist oil on someone else and shooting, the hope is, I have not played with this very much, is that not only is the damage augmented from the combustion, but they're made vulnerable from the oil, the arsonist oil, and then I let loose my scorching rays, and hopefully gets me over the edge. This could all fail miserably, and I could be back at square one. But let's give it a shot. So first things first, Karlach needs that, and we're going to give Astarion this. And, as just an aside too, we got to go back to camp, so we've got to switch out some gear. Just as an aside, I already forgot what I was going to say. Oh, right. Well, let's think about this in a minute. So, first things first, I'm going to get the gloves that I need, which is these. And then, the gloves of belligerent skies will help too, because this will allow me to deal some radiant damage. This will allow me to deal some reverberation, although he's he's immune to thunder damage, so the radiant or the thunder damage from the reverberation won't affect him. But the lightning charges I deal will, and the radiant damage I'm applying also will, from the Callous Glow Ring. So there's other ways that damage is being dealt here, so it's not all a lost cause, and I should actually exceed my targets by a fair bit. But what I'm going to do is take these off, because physical damage doesn't mean shit, and put these on. And then I'm going to... Right, okay, so I do not want these on. Lae'zel's going to go swap out her gloves as well, because she benefits from the sizzle hands a lot more here than she does from the other thingamabobbers. And they are... Where are my sizzle hands? There they are. Gloves of Cinder and Sizzle. So they will allow her to deal a bit of fire damage, and it gives her a Scorching Ray cast, most importantly, so that she can actually let loose herself using one of her actions. And I think more importantly... Oh, I already did it. Huh. Okay, that's fine. Unfortunately, I already Draconic Weaponed and applied cold damage to each of their thingies here. I want to go back. Do I want a long rest again and then put more fire damage on each of the weapons instead? Nah, I think it'll be fine. Will the cold damage interfere with all of the shit I'm doing? I don't know. Let's just try it out. Okay, so we've got the gear that we need, I think. Do I also want to put the heat gear on my lady here? Deal some more damage with heat. I don't think so. Let's just try this. If it doesn't work, I'll post this video anyway, and then I'll go back and... we'll see. See what happens. Okay, first I'm going to do save it just in case we have a crash. Does happen. Next, we're going to do combat prep. We do that from here. And the first thing I'm definitely going to do, and this assumes, by the way, that I hit with all of my thingamabobbers. He's got an AC 16. It's not nothing. Okay. Well, anyway. Buffs. Am I going to twin? You damn right I am. Is it going to be on me, the caster? Of course. And then the next highest damage dealer is probably Karlach. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. And is she going to pop? You damn right. Do I need more sword points? Can't hurt. Don't need level 2 spell slots. That gives me a total of 9, which is plenty fine. Next in the line is Karlach. Is Karlach going to do anything prior to this? Other than coat? I don't think so. I think Karlach is going to do Oil of Combustion. Yeah. Yeah, Astarion is going to do Arsonist Oil. He's going to do it on his bows. Wonderful. And Lae'zel doesn't have any prep to do. She's got a Scorching Ray standing by. I suppose she could... We could dip too, is the thing. We could lay down a candle and dip our weapons. Should I be doing that? I probably should, right? That's annoying. I don't have a candle on me. I'd have to do it with some Alchemist Fire. Yeah, she can certainly set it up. They're already dipped, though. You can't dip in oil at the same time. I'm an idiot. She can dip her weapon, though. Does that matter? I don't know. I don't think Lae'zel has any buffs. She's got everything she needs. Elixirs. Elixirs. There's also arrows of fire, too, that I'll be levying for sure. Elixirs, though. Karlach could use... Bloodlust doesn't really help here. I might get an AoE kill off of one of his buddies. That'll give me another action. But not at a net positive if I target one. I'd have to get it in an AoE and hope. Or with an arrow of many targets, or with a fire arrow or something. I don't know if that's worth it. And it might not be enough damage. So what if Karlach's taking an elixir, what is it going to be? Vigilance? He's not very fast, right? He's big old fatty. Yeah, he's +2. I don't really have to worry about that. Odds of him going before any of us is low. I'm not going to burn a vigilance elixir on him. There's not really much to do then otherwise. Elixir-wise. Yeah, I don't think so. They kill the Colossus, I guess. But it deals physical damage, which does not help me at all. But I will take a Battle Mage's Prowess on What's Her Tits here. Okay, drink that right now. I don't have a bonus action. Okay, so pass the turns of the environment. That gives us 9 haste and 4 failure live turns left. Okay, so now she can drink her potion, or elixir, I should say. And she has the Hat of Fire Acuity, so I'm not going to miss. I'm just not going to miss very often. Anyway, but just in case. So she's done, and I think everyone else is done. So let's pass the environment's turn. And then get her into range. Now let's give it a shot. Great. So everyone's first. So let's think this out. So this is me experimenting with the oils, because I don't do this very often. But I wanted to try this method out. For the record, I could have just gone back to Withers, respec'd into a Stormlord, or two, because it doesn't require any equipment of any significance, and just blasted his ass to high heaven. I could have done that. So this is definitely possible to do on the first turn. Certainly not with martial damage. But I just wanted to see if fire could work. So bear with me. This is mainly experimental. I will eventually re-up a video doing it with lightning if I have to. Oh, I forgot to haste Lisa. Oh, well. She's not a key component here. So first things first, we want to apply the oil damage to him. And that should be easy with just a hit. There is a point in flourishing, because we are going to do fire damage and psychic damage and a whole bunch of shit here, so we should probably do that. Might as well. Wonderful. That actually did a fair bit. So let's do it again. There's some more. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I think I just unlocked the secret to this fight, didn't I? I think if you hit him with different damage types, he regurgitates 3 times and then he blacks out. Is that true? Let's find out. Oh, okay, well, she has 3 damage types, and I guess one of them doesn't trigger him to regurgitate. He's done it twice, though. Interesting. Let's keep going. We're doing actually good damage here with all of her damage riders kicking in, so let's just continue. And there goes the oil of combustion, so at least we know that works. And she's out of flourishes. That's fine. Use fire arrows now. Yeah, cutting words. Alright, so she's done a good 100 damage here. Does not have enough movement to move up and stab. But we'll just let her rest for a bit. Now we're going to get a Astarion in there. And he's going to try to Arsonist Oil, which I probably should have done first before all this crap happened. He's immune to piercing, but he gets some necrotic in there, no problem. He's burning, he's combusted, but he is not Arsonist Oiled. Is he? No. So why not? I'm not sure. Let's try it again. Still not oiled, huh? No. I wonder why. Is it because the piercing damage has to occur for it to apply? That wasn't true with the oil of combustion. See, this is why I don't do this shit, by the way. Just in case you were fucking curious. This is why I don't fuck around with Arsonist Oil. Because it's shit, and it never works. It doesn't work as advertised. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. I don't know why it didn't happen here. Why would the oil of combustion apply and not the oil, or the Arsonist Oil? It doesn't make any sense. Both he and Karlach were shooting weapons that were coated. Karlach didn't do any physical damage, but yet her shit still applied. Is it because he didn't have... Well, he did have superfluous damage, like a damage rider. He had necrotic. The necrotic was hitting. It was dealing him damage. Okay, well, my entire plan's been mostly ruined, but we'll just play it out. I still have a lot of juice here, so let's see what we can do. Can't twin. But we can Scorching Ray. Let's see what this does here. 75%. That's shit. Gotta get my acuity up. Maybe I'll start with a 4 and save my big boy for after. And I'll throw 1 beam on him just to get my acuity up. Yeah, fuck it. That drops any resistance he has. He does not have a resistance, so that's fine. 170. Okay, I don't think I'm going to get there. Now he's at 95, so... Blah, 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 blah. Oh, so close. Yay! Did it anyway. Let's just check the logs here. So let's just, I want to figure out what the fuck happened. So luckily the combustion, I think, put me over the edge, it seems. Let's just take a look at the last ray I cast. I cast ray, I did 13 damage. Some of them critted too, that's part of it, I think. Must have. So the damage roll was 9, 2d6 fire, plus charisma modifier, yep. Oh, I wasn't factoring in my charisma modifier application in the roll. It's 2d12 plus 4. That's what put me over the edge. Right. And then I did some lightning, did some radiant, and then the next bolt kicked in. So, the oil of combustion doesn't look like the oil of combustion even did fuck all. Infinity, additional fire damage. Oh, elemental affinity. I get extra damage for being fire. I didn't even know my class, evidently. Draconic gold. It makes your spells more powerful. It allows you to apply a charisma modifier. That is what it's for. That is what it does. I don't have any other means of applying more damage. Well, anyway, something got me over the top. It was just enough damage by the time that my Sork here had exhausted her actions. Astarion has none left. And Karlak has just a bonus action left, which she'll use to... What am I doing here? Let's just finish this off. She can't get in stab range? Oh, that's too bad. Yeah. Just bless yourself. And then Lae'zel can get in there and do some stuff. And she had a Scorching Ray left up too. That this wasn't going to be as good as my Sorks, but still better than a punch, which does 0, or whatever her damage riders were. Let's just kill off these bartenders here. Sure, let's lock up the Far Realms. I'm going to long rest probably very soon. I don't know why I didn't use key points there, but I didn't. Oh, that's good. That's a better outcome than I thought. I would have. I didn't. I obviously miscalculated in my head, which is my bad. And I did more than I thought I was capable of doing. Karlak can probably, finish that off. All right. Well, there it is. So again, to reiterate, in case there's any confusion, for this fight, I would highly recommend you talk him to death. There is no reason to fight him. I think you get more XP from talking him to death, and you want to be level 10 at least by the time you go take on Ketheric. I'm pretty sure that despite the fact in this run that I've had to on the sake for the sake of my honor, I've had to fight all these guys. I'll still get there. I'm not worried about getting to 10. But that's precisely why I would recommend talking them to death, because I think you do get more XP. I should probably look this up before I talk. And if wiki it, and if I'm right and you do get more XP from talking him to death, then guess what? You should do it. It's just a better thing to do for your progress. It allows you to make more mistakes, and you don't have to worry about getting your XP super tight. As long as you get to level 10 by the time you get to Ketheric, you're in good shape. And even less, you're fine. You may not be able to first turn him, certainly, but you'll be okay. Ketheric is probably the hardest boss in the game, if you count he and the Apostle of Myrtle as one, which they're not, and I'm not going to count them as one, because I certainly could not beat the Apostle of Myrtle on the first turn, and Ketheric. They have 2 phases, and I would have some significant issues with maximizing my action, or optimizing my action economy there and actually making that work. But certainly you can do both iterations of Ketheric on the tower and underground on each of those first rounds of combat, and we'll see if I can do Myrtle on the first round of combat. He's actually got a lot of resistances, so we're going to have to think about it. You can't just go in willy-nilly with Myrtle, but I'm pretty sure we can figure it out. So, why did I keep the camera rolling? I really should not have done that. That was incredibly stupid. I'm going to say goodbye. I'll talk to y'all later.